When we think about charity in Islam, it's way more than just giving money. It's a deep expression of faith. But how far can that expression go? I mean, really? Well, we're about to jump into a story that seriously pushes the limits of what it means to be generous.
So that brings up a really interesting question, doesn't it? Can generosity be a competition? I know, it sounds a little strange, right? But it's actually the perfect way to frame this incredible story about a contest that totally redefined what it means to give.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're going back to the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, in his community, things like kindness and faith, they weren't just nice ideas. They were part of the fabric of everyday life. And two of his closest companions, they're about to show us just how true that is, in a way you won't forget.
All right, so here's how this all goes down, kind of like a three-act play. First, there's the call to action, a call for charity. That lights a fire, sparking this friendly but, intense rivalry. And then the grand finale, the moment of truth, when we see what everyone brings to the table. So at the very heart of this rivalry is one person's goal. We're talking about Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the Prophet's companions. He hears this call for charity and thinks, okay, this is it. This is my chance to finally outdo my friend Abu Bakr. Now, Abu Bakr was legendary for his generosity. But listen, this wasn't about ego for Umar. It was all about this powerful driving desire to do the most good possible. And wow, Umar does not mess around. He comes forward and presents, get this, half of everything he owns. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about half his paycheck for the month. We're talking half of his entire wealth. That is a massive, massive contribution, no matter how you slice it.
So then the Prophet asks this really important question. It's a question that grounds this huge gesture in reality, It brings it back to personal responsibility. He's basically reminding Omar that generosity is great, but it has to be balanced with your duties. I mean, think about it. What's the point of helping the whole community if you leave your own family high and dry? And Omar's answer? It seems just perfect. He says he left the other half for them. He gave a huge amount, but he also made sure his family was taken care of. It feels totally unbeatable, right? This perfect balance of massive generosity and thoughtful responsibility. You think, okay, contest over. Omar wins. But hold on. Then Abu Bakr shows up, and he doesn't bring a portion. He doesn't bring half. He walks up and places all of his wealth, every last thing he owns, before the Prophet. The stakes, they've just been raised to a level that's, it's almost impossible to imagine. And so, the Prophet turns to Abu Bakr and asks him the exact same question. This is it, the climax of the story. You can just feel the tension, right? Because how on earth could Abu Bakr justify this? How could he possibly explain leaving his family with absolutely nothing?
Abu Bakr's answer, it's on a whole other level. It goes way beyond money. He says, I left Allah and His messenger for them. He's basically declaring that his family's true provider, their real security blanket, isn't wealth. It's their faith. It's a statement of absolute 100% trust in faith over finance.
And in that single moment, Umar gets it. He realizes he can't compete with that. There's just no way. This whole contest was never about who had more to give. It was about the depth of faith behind the giving. Abu Bakr didn't just give his money. He gave a demonstration of a level of trust that was simply off the charts.
Okay, so this incredible story, it's the perfect illustration of the two main kinds of charity in Islam. And to really get what this all means, we've got to unpack these ideas. Because as we just saw, not all giving is the same.
All right, first up we have zakat. The easiest way to think about this is as the structured, required form of giving. It's not optional. It's a specific calculated percentage of a Muslim's wealth that has to be given every year to help the poor and needy. It's literally a pillar of the faith, foundational. And then, on the other hand, you have sadaqah. This is totally voluntary, totally spontaneous. There's no set amount, no specific time. It could be something huge, like Abu Bakr giving everything he had, or it could be something as simple as offering a smile. Seriously, it's basically any act of kindness you do for someone else.
So let's just break that down one more time. Zakat, required, calculated, annual. Think of it as a duty. Sadaqah, voluntary, from the heart, can happen anytime in any form. Think of it as an expression of generosity. Both are super important, but they come from slightly different places, Okay, so after all that, what's the big takeaway? What is this story, and what are these concepts really trying to teach us about what wealth actually means?
The core principle is this really powerful paradox. It's the idea that giving your wealth away doesn't actually make you poorer. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. But in the Islamic tradition, charity doesn't decrease your wealth. It's seen as a way to multiply it in ways that have nothing to do with your bank account.
So how does that even work? Well, first, charity is said to bring something called barakah. It's like a divine blessing or abundance into whatever you have left. It also makes the whole community stronger, right? Because you're taking care of each other. It's also seen as an investment in your faith. And like we saw with Abu Bakr, it completely redefines wealth. It's not about what you own, it's about your level of trust in something bigger than yourself.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. What really is the truest measure of wealth? Is it what we manage to hold on to? Or is it what we have the faith to let